Dear Mr. President, my dear colleagues from Jewish Agency, from Keren Hayesod, from World Zionist Organization, dear leaders of Jewish communities from America and other Jewish federations, North American Jewish federations, students from Masa, guests, dear friends, welcome everybody. Dear President, Shimon Hayakar, you know I am not a diplomat. I'll tell you frankly. When I was told like half a year ago by Israeli Maiman that they're going to start this conference from official celebration of your 90th birthday, I really didn't like it in the beginning. I really was taken aback because my first association, my first reminder was my childhood in the Soviet Union, when thousands of young boys and girls with red ties on their necks were mobilized to welcome their leader and to say thank you for our happy childhood. I said, don't do it. I have to say, I changed my mind. And I'll tell you why. Because whenever I started talking with our Jewish colleagues all over the world about your 90th birthday, I found out that they have different associations. I found that it can be a great tool in our attempts to increase Aliyah. And I'll tell you why. Because when I start talking to people that we are going to celebrate 90th birthday of our president, the first reaction always, oh my God, 90 years. You Israelis probably have a very long life. And then they look for statistics, and it's so easy today. You simply look at Google, life expectancy, Israel, and you find out that we are almost on the first place in the world. 80 years plus is average life expectancy in Israel. For example, in Russia, it is 65 minus. So if somebody makes Aliyah from Moscow to Israel, and Jewish Agency is paying for his ticket, he's getting as a bonus another 15 years of life. And then you continue talking about celebrations of 90th years anniversary for our president. And say, oh, you're president, but he's such a dreamer. He's such an optimist. Is everybody like this in Israel? And then look at statistics. And there are a lot of statistics about it. And you find out that Israel is one of the most optimistic countries in the world. You know that 75% of Israelis believe that for their country, for Israel, the future will be better than today. For example, for comparison, 74% of Americans believe for their country, today is better than the future. It means that if you make Aliyah from New York, and Jewish Agency will pay for your ticket, already on your way you are changing from pessimist to optimist. And then I continue this discussion. Yes, we are going to celebrate 90th anniversary. This President's Conference isn't the problem. They say, President's Conference, it's always about high-tech, startup nation, yes? Yes, and then you look at the statistics. You know that in Israel, the absolute number of startups is equal to absolute number of startups from all Western Europe. What it means, if you make Aliyah from Paris, and Jewish Agency is paying for your ticket, already on your way you know that your children will be much more successful in advancing ideas in high-tech than you. So just coming here, I looked at the last figures of Aliyah from the time that we started discussing your birthday, Mr. President, for this year. And I find out that there is an increase of 30% of Aliyah from France, 20% from Argentina, 50% from Hungary. We really have to find a way to continue celebrating. Now, dear friends, of course, that is a very important moment in encouraging Aliyah, but that's not the only one. The other reason for this increase from these countries, because Israel today, as Prime Minister reminded us in the meeting with a group of philanthropists only 2 days ago, Israel today has the lowest level of unemployment in any country of the free world in modern history. Can you imagine what it means, what it says about our economy? But there is also another reason, which is not so good. And this reason is that all the countries that I mentioned and many others, there is clearly increase of anti-Semitism in the last years. I can say that for the first time in maybe through all the history of Jewish agency, in the last years, we are dealing a lot with strengthening security of Jewish communities in Latin America, in Eastern Europe, in Southern Europe, in Northern Europe, and in Asia. And that's a very serious concern. Yes, we have to continue watching very carefully and helping to 20,000 Jews in Iran, to 12,000 Jews in Iraq, to 20,000 in Turkey and 12,000 in Iran, to 10,000 Jews of Venezuela, and by the way, here are the leaders of Venezuela Jewish community, to 2,500 Jews in Morocco, to 200 Jews in Yemen, and many other problematic places for Jews. Yes, we have to continue our unique Jewish institutions in the former Soviet Union, like our summer camps, which are taking the third generation of absolutely assimilated Soviet Jews and return them back to Jewish family. And of course, we have to deal with even more urgent situation of 200,000 Russian-speaking Jews in Germany. And just this year, we opened our third center of working to prevent quick assimilation and disappearance of these Jews. But if you'll ask me, when I'm asked, but where is the biggest problem which you're facing? I say our biggest problem is in the United States of America. 41% of Jews today live in the United States of America. And we don't know, when we are speaking about our great tomorrow, we don't know how many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and maybe millions will not be part of our Jewish family tomorrow. And that's a big challenge with which we are working and working, and the challenge is still ahead of us. And then we're speaking about the biggest Jewish community in the world. Very successful Jewish community, very strong Jewish community, very proud Jewish community in the state of Israel. 43% of Jews live in Israel, and suddenly we face this problem of delegitimization of our state and the attempts of our enemies to disengage Jewish people from their state. And that's the battle which goes through all the Jewish world, in every university in America and other countries, and we have to deal with this problem. And when we're speaking, whether it is assimilation in the United States of America or the legitimization of the State of Israel, we know that the answer is the same. The strengthening of the bond, the strengthening of the connection between Jews of the world and the State of Israel. And here these programs of Israeli experience are so important. Mr. President, in a few days you will be speaking on the other mega event of birthrights, with thousands and thousands of birthrights activists. And just here, there are only a few dozens of those thousands of students from Massa. And just this year, we started more and more new programs of Israeli engagement, of Israeli experiences, people to come for 6-8 weeks of major experience in their professional skills and other programs. All these programs are very important. And this year, we also broadened our work already from 15 to 25 and to 60, now to 70 universities in North America, very important battlefield. And as it was agreed by our Prime Minister in his meeting with the leading philanthropists a few days ago, the government of Israel, together with World Jewry, is going to make a major step forward to upgrade all our efforts to bring more and more Jews to Israel and more of Israel to Jewish communities in the world. And the last point which I want to make, because I'm sure that Israel already is looking at the watch and saying, enough, thanks God I don't see him because it's dark, but I know that he is very concerned. So it's the last point. Oh, now I see. And the last point is about tikkun olam, very popular word also on these sessions, and I participated in some discussions. And we know that when we were speaking of brain research and many great advances in technology, it's tikkun olam. But not only this. And for many American young Jews, not only American, diaspora young Jews, tikkun olam means to go to different countries of the world and to work for the better of those people. And it became so popular that some people believe that that's like invention of American Jews to the world to deal with tikkun olam. They are even saying to us, you in Israel, do you have the Hebrew word for tikkun olam? And we really have to remind them what is the meaning of these Hebrew words. And that's why we, Jewish Agency, started the program for the second year now, when we are opening one after another centers for tikkun olam in Ethiopia and in Thailand and in Mexico and just now in Georgia, and in Israel, of course, altogether in 12 different places in the world. And the idea is that there, Israeli Jews and Jews from other countries, first of all, are meeting together and working together for the benefit of local population for half of their time, and the other half they are learning. They are learning in order to understand that they are there dealing with tikkun olam, not because that is the way to run away from their identity, but that's because what their identity demands from them. And they are learning that we'll have better tomorrow, not only because of our contribution to the high-tech, to startup nation, but also because Israel will continue Israel as a Jewish democratic state, and Jewish people will continue their unique mission, building the island of freedom in the Middle East and building the world of Jewish identity in the free world, connecting between the world about which your grandfather, Mr. President, Shimon, said so powerfully when he said to you in his last word sending you to Palestine, the most important thing, remember always that you're a Jew, and the world of modern world of freedom, the world of meaning and identity, and the world of justice for everybody. Thank you, Mr. President, for giving us this unique opportunity to remind ourselves what is our role in this world. Thank you.